Hey guys, Mephi here. Welcome to the inner recesses of my mind, where we're doing something a little special today. So, a little while ago, actually, while I was thinking about it, playing Sonic Colors Ultimate, I stopped and thought to myself, what else did I play in 2021? Well, to make it easier and a little more interesting for myself, I stopped and thought, what all did I play offline? You know, my downtime, things that I really vibed with and things that I actually found enjoyable. Sometimes you don't have to put everything online, but whatever. So I've decided I'm going to talk about 5 games, not in particular order, that I actually enjoyed, but I also really helped me get through some tough times of the year, you know? Let's be honest, 2021 and 2020 haven't exactly been good on, well, anybody. But I digress. These are the top games that I thoroughly enjoyed or played offline. Now, there's no real criteria, like always. This is all off script and just me talking about what I liked about the games or if you should pick them up or not. Who knows? If I really think about it, this might become a thing to do every year, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. Onward to my top 5 games of 2021. First up on our list today, we're going to be talking about is God Eater 3. Now, if you're a fan of Monster Hunter style games, or just the idea of fighting giant creatures, then this game is up your alley. Just take Monster Hunter, post-apocalyptic theming, as well as a dash of anime, and boom, you got a good game right there. Now, to some, it might not be interesting, but to me, I've been kicking it with God Eater ever since high school, when it first came out to the PSP. Yeah, my age is showing, but I don't care. But yeah, every God Eater game that's come out so far, you play as a random character that's supposed to be, well, you know, Protagonist Kun. And because you're Protagonist Kun, you have the ability to do extraordinary things. In the first game, you were just a new recruit. Well, actually, you're always new recruit. In the second game, you're part of an organization that I think they called the Blood Squad. I'm not going to go there. But this one is a little different. You play as an age. Apparently, all God Eaters have different abilities, but you are special. The world has adapted, unfortunately, to a new plague of origami, creatures that literally devour everything they see. And, of course, when the monsters get stronger, the soldiers have to as well. So, they created a new set of soldiers called Aegis that can survive ash storms, basically sentient black clouds that if you breathe them in properly, it will kill you. But on top of that, it also mutated the wildlife and the origami around them too. You, being an age, you can survive in the Ashlands a little bit longer than you're supposed to. But of course, because the government deems you as slaves, they're going to lock you up because they think that they're better than you. This actually is kind of... well, when you think about it, ages are basically treated like not just slaves, but it's a racist and a class thing. But it's funny. They don't ever want to admit that they need you, yet they're quick to say that, you're expendable, yet I'm the one going out there doing all the fighting. Anyway, getting off topic, God Eater has always had some great soundtracks as well as gameplay. Plus, like I said, since you're Protagonist Kun, you get to create and customize your own character, including their weapon. And the beautiful thing about God Eater, it lets you customize your God arc. You can choose from different melee styles. Me, being the inner edgelord that I am, I always went with the scythe. You know, something, I don't know why. But anyway, you can choose from scythes, long swords, buster swords, jet hammers, spears, as well as even now the 2 new weapons that they've added to the series, a ring blade and dual swords. But not only that, as you can see in the gameplay, I also have the ability to devour enemies. But, like I said, with the adapting of the Ashlands, some Ashborn origami have the ability to do the exact same thing as you and devour as well. When you devour, you can copy well, in the old games, a portion of their power and shoot it through your God Arc because it also has a long range mode. Then it gives them a burst form. Kind of scary when you think about it, but it's not too bad. As long as you have the proper equipment and look at everything that you're fighting beforehand and study up, then you should be good. Or you can do like me and just make sure your weapon is high level and say, screw elemental damage, I'm going in hard because I'm raw. Wait, I think I got those mixed up. Whatever. Moving on. Number 4, we're taking a look at Digimon Story CyberSleuth Complete Edition. Now, back when this first came out on the PlayStation 4 as Digimon Story CyberSleuth, it was actually really good, but the beautiful thing about it is it came out for the PS4 and the PS Vita. I got the Vita edition because at the time I was always on the go. I actually am still on the go, but my Vita was actually really close at the time. So I got that, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, this is probably going to be just a really interesting RPG. Boy, was I right, because the story for this is not like any other Digimon game out there. I mean, it's really interesting. You play as either a guy or a girl trying to hang out with your friends, but a new threat has come out of nowhere in the cyber world that you can go to freely. Think of it as how you have Sword Art Online, where you can go online and play games basically, except the way the VR world is set up in this game, it's basically part of society, where you can go online, hang out with your friends, go shopping, and stuff like that. You still gotta go out in the real world, but the internet has actually gotten way more vast. But of course, when the internet grows, so do hackers. And because of the current situation, your friends get thrust upon the situation where it's not as easy as logging out. You find out the hard way, to the point where your body is actually ripped in two. Physically, you're in a coma. Mentally, you've become half human, half data, so you can literally jump in and out of the network anytime you feel like it, as well as capture Digimon. Well, copy their data enough to the point where you can actually create them in a lab, but that's part of the fun. Also, the learning curve behind this game is you have to, in order to get the Digimon you really want, you have to pay attention, like what their stats are, and stuff like that. So if you want a specific Mega level Digimon, then you're going to have to get used to Digivolving, then devolving them. But hey, it's part of the fun. But the thing about this is, it's, like I said, not one story, because I have the complete edition. It comes with Digimon Story CyberSleuth and the other side, which was Digimon Story CyberSleuth Hacker's Memory, where you play as a hacker instead of just a cyber detective. But both stories intersect, and you can play either side you want to. But the beautiful thing about this is the complete edition, it comes with both games in one, and it comes with all the DLC content for both games, including Digimon themselves too. So in the PS4 version, if you didn't pre-order it, you couldn't get access to Black War Greymon or Black Metal Garurumon, or should I say, the line that you need to even make them would be cut off from you completely. But in the complete edition, you don't have to worry about that. Heck, you can even go toe-to-toe against the 7 Deadly Sin Digimon and learn how to create them yourselves. It's worth it. But yeah, if you're a huge fan of Digimon, by all means check it out. If I were you, grab it on the Switch like I did. It's on sale currently at this time of recording for $14.99, as well as on Steam. But yeah, Digimon Story CyberSleuth, worth the play. Oh god. So this is where it got really difficult to pick all the games that are left, especially the top 3 that made the cut in this list. I know I said earlier there is no particular order. Heck, I'm not even using a script. All of this is off the top of my head. But this is where I feel like I struggled, because the top 3 really blew me away. And there's also going to be some other games that I really wish I could have added, but I just could not put them on proper. But let's talk about the ones that actually are properly on this list. As you all are aware, I am a SpiderMan fan. He is my #1 superhero. If you don't know that, you do now. I've read every Spider-Man book that I could get my hands on that was available to me. I've seen almost every cartoon, almost every movie, played almost every game that's ever had the wall crawler. But this one actually was really interesting. When they announced Spider-Man coming to PS4 via Insomniac, that one E3 years ago, I was so happy. So much so that when I got the game, I beat it. And I don't usually do this, but I platinumed the game. I platinumed it, I got every trophy, and I did everything. Then when they announced the DLC, The City Never Sleeps, chapters 1 through 3, I got every trophy in those too. The story was just great. The controls were solid. The suit was actually beautiful, especially all the other costumes that they put in, because let's be honest, you can't have a Spider-Man game without some drip somewhere. But then they announced Miles Morales was getting his own game, and it was coming to the PS5. I was upset at that at first, but then I found out, wait, it's coming out for the PS4 as well? Score! So of course, Miles is dripped out just as much as Peter, except Miles adds his own flair to it in everything. Extra superpowers, extra story, even him just trying to get used to a new location. If you haven't played the original Spider-Man, then spoiler warning by the way, Miles' father Jefferson doesn't make it. And then later on, because of the outbreak of the Devil's Breath incident, Miles is also bitten by a radioactive, actually genetically altered spider, just like in the comic book. So he ends up getting powers as well. And Peter has been mentoring him. And you can hear the conversations in the City That Never Sleeps storyline where Peter is talking to Miles over the phone, trying to get him to understand the basics of web swinging and stuff like that. It's really good. Now, in this game, you actually get to see all the little teaching from Peter to Miles, and he's taking them to heart. So much so that, just like Peter, he accidentally causes some trouble. But it comes with the territory when you're walking around with webs on your uniform. It's no big deal. But this game is actually really good because it takes a lot of the issues that were in the first game, gets rid of majority of it, and spruces up the stuff that actually works, like the stealth mechanics, the combat, as well as the swinging. Because if you have a Spider-Man game, you have to make sure you get the swinging right. If you have PS4, go ahead and grab this. If you have the PS5, grab the Ultimate Edition of Miles Morales Spider-Man, because not only does it come with that, but it comes with the Game of the Year edition and remastering of the PS4 edition of Spider-Man. That way you have all the DLC, and you can even play with the new face that they did for Peter. That's not that big of a deal. It's really not. Anyway, moving on to the next two. So I knew off jump that this list was going to be difficult in itself because I have to include and also exclude a few series that I really love, but I knew I had to have this series on the list somewhere. The problem is, which one out of all 4 of these games was I actually going to put into this list? Well, I can make it easier for you. I never played 3 and 4, so there. But yeah, Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel is my comfort RPG. It looks and feels like you're playing a Japanese shonen anime series. And, to make it even better, it also got announced last year that they were also going to be making an animated series of Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel. So yes, I am finally going to be getting another anime off of a video game that I love. But yeah, Trails of Cold Steel takes you into Erebonia, a place of beauty, Technology is starting to really get off the ground, but the story is you play as Rean Schwarzer and his special class of Class 7. You go to a military school, but you don't do the traditional stuff there. You're actually going out and about and helping solve problems, because your drunk instructor used to be a guild member called the Bracers. She's a very dangerous woman, but that's not the thing we're talking about right now. Chapter 1 sets up everything that we need to know. Chapter 2 is the fallout of everything that has happened. Your country is at war, royalty has been kidnapped, your family has been thrown into shambles, and make it worse, you as well as a ragtag team of students from your school are now trying to save everyone and everything that matters before, well, the usual destructive stuff happens, because not only are you dealing with that, but you're also dealing with a civil war across the way as well too. So, good luck with worrying about your elective projects. But anyway, Rean Schwarzer is the main character, and the rest of his merry band of misfits of Class 7 are all trying to keep their heads up, as well as fight back and rebel and liberate every area that has been taken by, well, I want to say, oh wait, they actually do have a villain name, a group called Ouroboros, as well as other shady groups as well. But yeah, the main thing is Rean is just trying to keep everything together, and of course, because he's protagonist goon, he kind of doesn't have a choice. But again, basically you're playing a shonen anime because Rean has powers that are different from everybody else. Now, normally you can just use a device called, actually I forgot what the actual device was called, but normally you can use orbital technology to use magic and stuff like fire, water, well, and ice. But in Rean's case, he actually has actual power and a giant robot. Again, I say, if this doesn't reek of anime shonen cartoons or anime period, then I don't know what to tell you. Like I said, this game rocks. There's 4 games in the series of under the branch of Trails of Cold Steel, but since I've only played 1 and 2, I put 2 up here because it feels like a more refined story between 1 and 2, as well as the gameplay. So yeah, if you get a chance to, please check it out. You can find it on Steam as well as the PlayStation 4. If you have a PS3 and a Vita, grab those too. But if you also have a Nintendo Switch, grab 3 and 4, because right now 3 and 4 are only available on there, and they've decided that they're going to make more Trails games and bring them over here to the West, so we don't have to worry about playing the Japanese ports from Steam. I mean, you can still do that. Who am I to tell you what to play? Now, for the difficult part of this list, the games that didn't make it. I could jump into one right now, but no. That's where Honorary Mentions comes in. I'm going to talk about those. There's a couple games in there, but I'm not going to dwell too much onto them. But yeah, here are my Honorary Mentions. Honorary mention number 1 goes to Ys 8, Lacrimosa of Dana. It's a very beautiful game. I was trying to brush through this as fast as I could right before Ys 9 Monstrum Nox came out. That one's sitting on the back burner too, unfortunately. I'm going to come back to it eventually. I just have not put the time into it like I want to, which is a shame because, like I said, the game is beautiful and it's fun. Atlas always knows how to make banger RPGs, especially with its main series, Shin Megami Tensei. But when they decided to make a sister to the franchise, Persona was always a little, in my opinion, more popular, especially around the time of Persona 4. But when Persona 5 happened, it asserted its dominance. When a sequel came out, ooh boy. Go play Persona 5 Strikers. Trust me, you will not be disappointed. Dude, seriously? Of course it's Smash. Why wouldn't it be Smash? Dude, I've ran many game nights here at my place on Smash Brothers. If it wasn't me, it was a couple of my friends online or offline. Smash is like my number 1 go-to. Unfortunately, it couldn't make the list. Which is really sad and saying something, because who doesn't love playing Smash Brothers? But like I said, this is where the things got difficult to choose, like what I really wanted to show off or what I really enjoyed playing in 2021. But alas, we've come to the end of the line. What exactly was my number one game that I thoroughly enjoyed and I'm currently still playing right now, to the point where I haven't even finished it yet? Well, it's a no-brainer. One of you guys know about it already. Square Enix hit gold when they first came up with this game. It was actually a very different style of JRPG, especially when it came out on the DS. The World Ends With You has very good storytelling, very good writing, very good music, and everything. So when a sequel was announced years later, after they announced they were going to A, make an anime, if I remember correctly, and B, remake it for the Switch, I am not gonna lie, I did not like The World Ends With You on the Switch. I tried to give it a chance, but I was told probably the better idea was to play it in handheld. I was trying to play it in docked mode, and it didn't feel right. I was really hoping you could have changed the controls, but that's just my own personal gripe. But the sequel, on the other hand, Neo The World Ends With You, feels so good to play. And the story is actually just as weird as the first one, in a good way. Let's be honest, you can't have enough weird titles in the world. This one was unique, but unfortunately, due to Square Enix's marketing, it didn't get as big as they had hoped for it to. But then again, this is what happens when you don't promote it, and you expect other people like Nintendo to promote your title. But it's sad. They considered it a failure. A lot of people out here consider the game to be a smash hit. I mean, you play as some very good kids, especially Rindo, who acts like he really doesn't want to be around, but he plays that way, but he actually does care. Then the rest of the characters actually don't feel two-dimensional. They feel like they have everything that makes them great. You just have to look. Case in point, I thought she was going to be annoying. But if you slander her name, I will destroy you and I will never forgive you ever again. Seriously, this game oozes personality. The way it shows you the streets of Japan, the way it shows you all the places you can hang out, the places you can buy your equipment, the restaurants you can go to buy perks, just hanging out with your friends. That's what this game feels like, an anime version of hanging out with your friends, and also trying to stop the apocalypse, because why not? Seriously. This game is actually really good, and it's my number one pick for a reason. Like I said, soundtrack, check. Gameplay, check. Aesthetic, check. It doesn't always show you cutscenes, but I don't really care about that. I mean, the stills, even the PNG, hand-drawn pictures of all the characters in the comic boxes and stuff like that is really good too. Plus, you have psychic powers with pins that you wear on you. What's not to like about that? The creativity just drips from this game. And I'm just mad that Square Enix did it as dirty as they did. But, what can I say? Go play the game. Seriously. It's on PlayStation 4 and it's also on the Nintendo Switch. I got it for the Switch because, like I said, I'm really on the go a lot and I want to play something on my downtime when I'm not so busy, or in my grandma's house, or just when it's dead at work. Play this game. You will not regret it. I mean, when you have an attack that allows you to summon a car and yeet it at people, what is not to like? Shout out to Mistress Dove for actually putting this game on my radar and convincing me to buy it. I really suggest you guys check it out too. And yeah, but yeah, this has been my top games of 2021 that I thoroughly enjoyed. I would say top 5, but as you saw, I ended up adding honorary mentions. Like I said, this is a lot more difficult than I thought, but I plan on this might become a thing every year. I just need to remember what I played. Oh well, if you guys enjoyed this, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I'd love to hear your feedback. Also, hit the notification bell so anytime I upload something, you guys will be the first ones to know. And as always, I really do appreciate you taking a step into my mind, even if it was for a short period of time. You guys have a good one. Take care.